Hey there, and welcome back to the Rock and Realty Podcast, your ultimate backstage pass to mastering every step of your real estate buying, selling, or investing journey. I'm your host, Teresa Gabriele, local realtor, music lover, and your go-to guide for small town living, downsizing, and starting fresh, whether it's Orangeville, Dufferin County, or the surrounding area. Each week, I break down a part of the real estate transaction and sit down with the key experts you will need, giving you the confidence and clarity to make those all-important real estate decisions. And just like a great rock show, you can expect a little energy, a few surprises, and maybe even an occasional guitar solo to keep things fun. Hit subscribe and tap the bell so you never miss an episode. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, so today we have Nick DeBoer from DeBoer Home Inspection with us to answer some questions, learn a little bit more about home inspections, and we'll jump right in with the questions. Welcome, Nick. So Nick, tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you live in the area, you have a beautiful family, you live here in Orangeville, and this is your service area. So tell us a little bit about you. Who are you?
Yeah, thank you. So I live right in Orangeville. I service mostly Dufferin County and the surrounding areas, but I do, my service area seems to be getting larger and larger as time goes on,
Yay.
which is great. I'm happily married, husband and father to three young boys, and I'm a hockey coach. I coach my son's hockey teams, so that's a lot of fun.
That's so cool. I heard you play a little guitar.
I do, yes. I used to play a lot. I played for quite a while, but now with the running a business and being a busy father, it's hard to find the time.
Yeah, we might have to get you out to play guitar on our, some of our shows. So yeah, I might have to coax you to do that for sure.
Yeah, yeah, you might have to. I would embarrass myself.
Probably not. We always think we're worse than we really are.
Right.
Awesome. Tell us a little bit about how you got into home inspection, if there's any certifications that are required to operate your business here in Ontario. But just tell us a little about you and kind of how you started.
Okay, yeah. So I'm Nick, owner and inspector at DeBoer Home Inspection. Graduate from the Carson Dunlop School of Home Inspection, one of the top programs in the industry. Once I graduated their program, I joined InterNACHI and worked towards becoming a certified professional inspector through them. Also certified in thermal imaging, certified drone pilot. Both of those services I include on my home inspections. Also wet certified and well certified as well.
Oh, that's amazing. That's so much more comprehensive than I recall. So, Nick, tell us a little bit about what's involved in a home inspection and when you get the call. Like, when does someone need a home inspection done?
Typically, it's when someone's buying a home. That's probably the larger percentage of my business is home buyers. They've put a conditional offer in on a property, and now they need the inspection.
Fantastic. And what are some of the top things that you look for when you're doing the inspection?
So I look at all the major systems and components. That includes the roof, gutters, downspouts, exterior and grading, foundation and structure, the garage, attic, insulation, ventilation, plumbing, electrical, heating, cooling, windows, doors, and interior.
So you pretty much look at everything.
Everything that's visible and accessible on the day, yes.
You mentioned that you have a drone certification. So tell me how that kind of comes into play, because that's kind of cool.
Yeah, so the drone is great for like getting eyes on the roof. A lot of times it's not visible from the ground. Some inspectors walk the roof surface. I prefer not to. Obviously you can't in the wintertime, but even in the nicer weather, metal roofs can be dented, or even asphalt shingle roofs, you can deteriorate the granulars a little bit by walking them. So I thought the drone was a really great tool to get eyes on the roof from the ground.
I didn't know that you could get certified in using a drone. That's kind of news to me. That's really cool. And so how long does it typically take, like a home inspection? What can buyers
The
and sellers expect?
Yeah, so the average inspection is about 3 hours. There's a few factors that play in here: the size of the home, its condition, and then if there's any additional services added, that does change the time a bit. But the average is 3 hours.
And what do they get at the end of an inspection?
Yeah, so once I am done with the inspection process, I'll take a few minutes, as long as it takes, really, with the client at the end to explain all my findings and answer any questions they might have. And then from there, I head home and I get working on the report, and then I send the report same day.
That's amazing. Such fast turnaround. I know when I've used you in the past, it was like surprisingly fast because having had experience in buying and selling homes, like I've never seen anything that fast. So that's a big plus.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. I know other, I've heard other inspectors taking a day or two or sometimes more to get the report off, and most people, they want it as soon as possible.
Well, I mean, most conditional time periods are about 5 days. And so if things don't get started early enough, or, we got to consider schedules. And if it's not coming back in 2 days, that's 2 days out of those five conditional days, right? So, yeah, that's
Yeah,
really helpful to go really fast.
I've had it where just because my schedule was a little bit busy that week and somebody needed an inspection and their condition was up Friday evening. So I did the inspection for them Friday morning and I delivered the report in the afternoon. So they had it just in time.
So, are there any misconceptions that people might have about home inspections that you want to share?
Yes, there are. One would be that the inspector will tell me whether or not to buy the home. The reality is an inspector can't make that call. It's just the inspector's job to report the condition of the home as it is today, not to advise on whether you should walk away or not. Um, Everybody has like a different comfort level, so the inspector's job is just to deliver the news, and it's up to the client from there.
Any other misconceptions? Anything that you want to share that's really important that you've seen from other clients that you've worked with?
Yeah, I think another one would be that home inspectors are code enforcers or code inspectors. This one comes up quite often, actually. Inspectors aren't municipal code enforcers. We don't enforce building code or check for compliance or permits or any of that stuff. We might like reference outdated systems or unsafe practices, but
Right.
that's not really the same.
Fantastic call out because there's so many houses that have like DIY renovations, and you just don't know how people have put together their homes. Some of them have done it correctly and gone through the city when they're building things like accessory apartments, but some have just built basements, put up drywall, and you just never know. I've always been curious about this. Does a home inspection ever fail?
Technically, no. It's not a pass or fail. That's actually another misconception. People think that a home inspection is like a pass or fail. I get asked that question at the end. Well, did it pass? And
Right.
it's not like I'm giving the home a grade or anything. It's not really how it works. I'm just giving you the most accurate picture of the house, of the home's condition today.
That makes a lot of sense. And another myth could be that you give cost estimates for anything that might need to be fixed or altered.
Yeah, that is another one, and I just stick to reporting the facts. I'm not a contractor, so I can't provide those cost estimates for people. Sometimes I can ballpark it if I've had something similar done as a personal experience, but I will tell you if something needs attention soon, and I'll recommend when to bring in a professional.
So you mentioned that you bring up the condition of the home as it is today, but are there any deal breakers? Like, have you ever like had to give like really bad news to someone that, I don't, this is like really not good?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. It seems to be different for everybody. major foundation cracks, an active foundation leak,
Right.
roofs or HVAC systems at the end of their life, old electrical systems. All these things come up, from time to time or often. All these things come up. And I find that each client is a little bit different. I can deliver the news to somebody that your shingles are at the end of their life, you need a new roof.
Right.
One client will say, "Oh, that's no big deal. I have a roofer in the family or a friend or whatever," and it's not a problem for them. Deliver the same news to somebody else, and it very well could be a deal breaker for them because they don't
Right.
have it in their budget, they don't have any contacts or people that can help them out. So it's a little bit different for everyone.
It's so true. It's who you know and who can help you with that particular fix or update or upgrade or whatever it may be. Has there been any like what are some of the scary sounding things that might sound bigger than they really are on an inspection?
Yeah, I think honestly, a couple things like missing caulking around your windows or just old, worn out caulking around windows and doors. Another one would be downspouts that discharge too close to the home's foundation. Those are ones I see on most homes. And it may sound like a big deal, but the caulking is a maintenance item. It's one of those things where you do it today and you'll probably have to do it again in another 10 or so years, depending on, how much sun the area gets and things like that. And then the downspouts as well, usually my note on that will be that, you're sending a lot of water down near the foundation, and it's not good for the foundation. You can cause problems and things like that. So people can get a little bit worked up about that one, but it is a really simple fix. Just a matter of getting an extension, sending it away from the home, and that's a much better setup.
Yeah, it's really interesting because when you review an inspection, you're like, oh, red. Oh, this is not a good house. But the reds are really just a call out the things that you need to put your attention to first, maybe first and foremost. Or it's something that you can go back to the deal with and say, well, it's something to negotiate with. I want the seller to fix this before closing by a professional or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, now a fun question. What is one of the weirdest things that has come up for you in a home inspection?
One that sticks with me because it happened fairly recently was there was a home I was inspecting, and the homeowners had renovated the basement. They added a bathroom in the basement with a shower. It's really nice, but the bathroom fan they didn't bother to vent it outside, so it was just dumping all that warm, moist air back out into the living space of the bathroom,
No.
or the basement rather, and it was just kind of a recipe for some issues down the road.
What kind of issues would that create down the road?
Well, you can end up with moisture damage. It can actually lead to mold and things like that. The bathroom will get, full of steam if you're having a really hot shower,
Yeah.
and you're sucking all that steam and moisture out of the bathroom, and you're sending it into the rest of the home. It can damage the drywall and all kinds of things.
Do you ever recommend a seller do a pre-listing inspection? And if you do, why? Why would that be a good idea?
Absolutely. A pre-listing inspection gives the sellers a chance to fix any issues before it hits the market, or at least be prepared for what might come up. It also shows that the sellers are being transparent. They've done the pre-inspection. They know there might be a few issues with the home. They're not trying to hide anything. It can also reduce surprises or renegotiating at offer time.
That's great. So obviously the market is what it is right now, and there's so many houses flooding the market. Not as many buyers at this point, as we're experiencing more of a kind of buyer's balanced market. But have you seen anything unique or different coming up in terms of trends, types of issues that are showing up with particular houses during this period?
With newer homes, I'd say the issues are often like workmanship related.
Yeah.
Things like poorly installed flashing. I've seen windows installed upside down, missing insulation, grading issues. with older homes, it's more about like aging systems, like uh, aging, like your furnace and air conditioning starting to age.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the home is quite a bit older and it has aluminum wiring. That's pretty common. A little bit of foundation settlement, things like that.
Are there any particular issues that are unique to Orangeville or Dufferin County that you see quite often?
Yeah, so ice damming was a big issue around here, especially this past winter.
Yeah.
With the winter we had a lot of snow. We had a few thaws and refreezes, so I did see quite a bit of ice damming this past winter. Yeah.
And do you make recommendations on how to fix or change or upgrade certain things? I know you don't give cost estimates, but do you provide any recommendations or referrals to any outside partners that you might work with?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, for ice damming, I always recommend that an insulation contractor come through and assess the depth of the insulation, the R value, and then also the ventilation in the attic. Ice damming is usually caused by a combination of low insulation and low ventilation. And then for other systems, yeah, I do have some personal contacts that I use that I've used personally, and these are people that I trust and I know they do good work. So I would be happy to pass their names along to any clients. Usually in the report, it'll just say contact an electrical contractor, contact a plumber, contact a roofer, and so on.
I have another question about that. Is there anything that you look for in home inspections that could be more preventative in terms of, this could potentially house ice dam, or this could potentially do this, or, do you do that at all? Or is it just as it is, this is current state?
Yeah, I don't just go through the home and check off boxes and tell people here's what it is. I do try to use my knowledge to help people. It's kind of about spreading awareness and spreading the knowledge around so that people understand how their home works and how to maintain it and ways they can improve. So yeah, if I see a home with evidence of ice damming, I usually will make the recommendation to increase the insulation R value or depth in the attic, and increase the ventilation, because that's usually the two big contributing factors to that issue. And it's the same with any other system. If I see that the furnace is looking like it could use a service, I
Yeah.
mean that's not necessarily a defect, but I always recommend people get it serviced because that'll help extend its life.
Awesome. That's great. How does a realtor prepping the clients help you do your work? Is there anything that you appreciate that realtors do with their client, their buyer clients, that makes your work or the relationship a bit easier?
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing would be if the realtor just kind of can set that expectation for the client, just let them know that like no home is perfect, even brand new ones or a few years old, issues will pop up. Um, Help them understand that it's not a pass or fail. It's just about getting informed, right? And then
Yeah.
also encouraging the clients to attend the inspection is a big one. If they're at the inspection and they can see things firsthand and get feedback kind of on the spot, that seems to go a long way.
So, Nick, I've got a few rapid fire questions for you. Inspector edition, well, home inspector edition. True or false? Aluminum wiring equals automatic deal breaker.
False.
Oh, tell me why. Tell me more.
It's definitely a concern, but not a deal breaker. It just needs to be evaluated by an electrical contractor to ensure it's safe. There are a lot of homes built in the 60s and 70s that have that wiring that are completely fine. Yeah. I find mostly it's the insurance companies that want to see something from an electrical contractor saying that it's been looked at and it's safe.
It's really great. It's good because when you think about going in and it kind of changes the idea or the way that we think about home inspection. It's telling us what the current state of the house is, and then as buyers, you have a decision to make whether you're willing to invest in this home based on the price, whether you want to go back on the deal and say, I want you to fix this before I close and it's got to be proven by this date. So there's so many things that you can do when you really, really want that house that you've got your eyes set on, but it comes back a little bit unexpected in terms of your inspection. So that's good.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. There's not too many issues that can't be fixed. Um, it all, again, it goes back to the client's comfort level, and then they've got to figure out if it's going to work with their budget based on the amount of work that they might need to do. So yeah, there's
Right.
not too many. Like, yeah, it's comfort level thing. Some
Yeah,
people,
so true.
there are deal breakers. Some people, it's no big deal.
For sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So all home inspectors check for mold. That's your next question.
False.
Oh, tell me more about that.
Mold testing is not part of a standard home inspection. It is a separate service, requires sampling and lab work and all this stuff. So I'll note like visible signs that, for potential moisture or mold, but I can't confirm without a test, and I don't do the testing.
So if it's not on the report, the inspector is liable. True or false?
False.
Ooh, okay. Share more.
Uh, because the inspection is visual and non-invasive, if something comes up that wasn't visible or accessible at the time, it won't be in the report.
Got it.
So if I couldn't see it, I didn't know that there was something wrong, it didn't get in the report.
So if I'm a buyer and you've just done my inspection and I'm satisfied, I go forward with the deal and I start pulling out like drywall and start renovating something and something comes up like mold, like a massive issue or is, just something that it was unexpected, you would not be liable because it was not visible at time of inspection and I can't come back and, hold you liable.
That's right.
Perfect. Yeah, that's really interesting. I'm learning so much today.
Yeah. That's great.
Here's another one. You touched a little bit on it, but I think it's important to reiterate this one. New homes don't need a home inspection. True or false?
False.
Tell me more about that.
Yeah. Even brand new homes can have the defects, like I mentioned earlier, missing flashing or windows installed upside down or missing caulking, the drainage issues, you name it. A Tarion warranty inspection is especially important in the first year for new homeowners in Ontario that bought from a builder or bought a brand new home. That is a service I offer for new homeowners. But you have 3 levels of your Tarion, and the first one is 12 months. So I usually recommend people get the inspection done at the 11th month mark.
Yes.
That gives them a little bit of time to go back and forth with the builder and see if they can't get some of this stuff resolved.
Yeah, and I've actually experienced a seller that was dealing with so many like little issues from the builder, and then the builders get really, really busy, and then they're put on this long timeline to get them fixed. So as soon as you can get it done, the better, for sure, because you just never know when that builder is going to come around and fix it. And if you're looking to sell your house after a short time, having bought a new built home, then it's definitely an important step to take.
Yeah, quick story for you. I had a client
Yeah.
recently who bought a brand new home from the builder. They had moved in, and he got he wanted a Tarion inspection done right away. I think they had only lived in the house for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So I went and I did the home inspection for him. We found a few things, and he emailed the findings to the builder. And because the builder was still on site building other homes,
Yes. Yep.
they had tradesmen there within a couple of days. Everything, just about everything in the report was taken care of by the builder. And the client was really happy because he's like, wow, I'm so glad I got this done when I did, because all the trades were still on site building, the next row of homes over here. So it was easy for the builder just to send the guy over. He did the work, and the client was really happy.
That's a really great story. I've had a flood of pre-construction ads coming my way. We have one happening in Orangeville right now. They're happening everywhere. And to have that little extra piece of information that you can actually do a home inspection a few months in so that you can get it fixed while they're still in the vicinity. That's a huge bonus because I've seen the total opposite. Almost a year down the road, they've moved on and it takes weeks. Takes weeks to get someone to come and fix something very, very small. But it's true. It's true. Builders, remember, those builders are putting those houses up really fast. And they're not always, looking at the small things. And those are important things to every homeowner.
Yeah, that's another thing too that a lot of people don't realize that anybody can get a home inspection at any time. It doesn't have to be during a real estate transaction. Just moved into a home and maybe your the market you were in didn't allow for a home inspection, or you wanted to make your offer more appealing, so you left that condition off. That's fine. It happens sometimes. You got to do what you got to do, but you could always call a home inspector to come through after you've moved in. Say, we just bought the home, we didn't get an inspection during negotiations, but we want one now because we want to know what's going on.
Such a smart thing. Yeah, that makes so much sense. Gone are the days of offers like that, though.
Yeah,
I
I think
personally
so.
would never recommend not getting a home inspection.
Yeah,
That's amazing. Well, Nick, thank you so much for joining us today. Really, really appreciate your time and all of the answers to the questions that we've had. I'm sure there's other questions that are going to come through. I'm asking the audience, if you have any questions, put it down in the comments and we'll make sure that Nick gets those so that he can, maybe come and visit us again. So thanks for coming, Nick.
Yeah, great. Thanks so much for having me. It was a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thanks so much for tuning into this episode. Have any questions or want to recommend a future guest for a show? Leave a comment or send me a DM. And if you're ready to take the next step in your real estate journey, schedule a call using the link in the description. Make sure to follow my channel so you never miss an episode. And if you found this helpful, leave a comment. It helps others find us. Thanks so much. That's a wrap. See you next time.